Hello, and welcome back to Coding Bootcamp's Introduction to the Python Programming Language. Last time we talked about containers, and now this is the final session. We're going to be working with arguments. That is, function arguments. So let's get to the objectives. We're going to be talking about passing arguments to functions by reference and by value, and variable length argument signatures for functions. So let's get into it. Passing arguments to functions. How are arguments passed to functions in Python? If you pass immutable arguments like integers or strings or tuples, the call by value will be used, and if you pass something mutable, then the reference evaluation will be used. So the most common strategy for passing arguments is call by value, and when the expression is evaluated, the value is bound to the corresponding parameter in the function. So if the expression is a variable, a local copy of the value will be used in the function. In other words, the variable in the caller scope will be unchanged, cannot be changed by the function. But if you pass something that's mutable, Python will assign values to the parameters in the function with the call by reference evaluation, which is the reference to the object you're passing is passed to the argument. So as a consequence, the function can modify the argument, can modify the value. In other words, the value of the variable in the caller scope can be changed. So by using call by reference, we save both computation and memory space because arguments do not need to be copied. But on the other hand, this harbors the disadvantage that variables can be accidentally changed in a function call. So special care has to be taken to protect the values that we don't want changed. So if we want to require arguments, we just define the parameters. Like here we have A and B, so if we try to run divide 9 by 3, we'll get 3. But if we try to divide 10, we're going to get an error, and it's going to say missing one required positional argument, B. So we didn't pass this. Now we can make some of the parameters defaulted, so they can have a default value. So now we can run divide 10, and it will divide by the default 2. So now we can run divide 10, we'll get 5. We can also have flexible length arguments with an asterisk, which will make n a tuple, so that we can pass any number of arguments to this, from 0 to many. And that's it, guys. That's a short one today. The assignment is to write a program that passes a list as an argument to a function and demonstrate that we can update it in the color scope. Alright, well, that is it, folks. You can have some private tutoring lessons if you want to do so. There are other by going into codingbootcamps.com. There are other classes, follow-up classes for this one. Learning Python by object-oriented programming examples. There's more software engineer training at codingbootcamps.com for Java, C, C++, Go, Kotlin, and other languages. So that's it for the introduction, and you'll have to stay tuned for course projects and for the follow-up class. But for now, let's say goodbye, and thanks a lot, guys.